Prepare to embark on a journey that unveils the untold story behind one of the most tragic aviation disasters in history. In our groundbreaking documentary, we delve deep into the harrowing events surrounding China Airlines Flight 611, a fateful flight that ended in unimaginable horror. With gripping eyewitness accounts, expert analysis, and never-before-seen footage, we unravel the mysteries behind the catastrophic crash that shook the aviation world to its core. Join us as we uncover the chilling truth behind the fatal flight, revealing the shocking lapses in safety protocols and the human errors that led to the loss of 225 lives. This is more than a documentary. It's a gripping tale of tragedy, courage, and the relentless pursuit of answers. On a chilly February day in 1980, China Airlines Flight 009, known by its call sign Dynasty 009, embarked on a journey from Stockholm Arlanda Airport, bound for Taoyuan International Airport, with layovers at King Abdulaziz International Airport and Kai Tak International Airport. As the aircraft descended upon the bustling city of Hong Kong, fate intervened in the form of a terrifying mishap. The plane's tail grazed the unforgiving runway, sending shockwaves through the metal hull and punctuating the sky with a deafening roar. The consequences were dire. The aircraft was depressurized, its once steady course disrupted by the unexpected encounter with the earth below. Yet, in the face of adversity, the crew remained resolute, guiding the wounded bird back to Taiwan, where a temporary remedy was hastily applied. At Taiwan Taoyuan International Airport on May 15, 2002, China Airlines Flight 611 readied for departure. Crews diligently inspected the aircraft, passengers eagerly awaited boarding, and pilots meticulously prepared for the journey ahead. Amidst the bustling activity, anticipation hung in the air, signaling the start of what everyone hoped would be a routine flight. China Airlines is a major Taiwanese airline renowned for its extensive network, exceptional service, and commitment to safety. Taiwan Taoyuan International Airport, nestled in Taoyuan, Taiwan, stands as a bustling hub of travel, connecting passengers from around the globe with its modern facilities and efficient operations. Serving as the primary gateway to Taiwan, this bustling airport boasts a seamless blend of cutting-edge technology and warm hospitality. The flight path of China Airlines, Flight 611 on May 25, 2002, traced a course from Taiwan Taoyuan International Airport to its intended destination, Hong Kong International Airport. The aircraft involved, bearing the registration B18255, initially registered as B1866 and designated with manufacturer serial number MSN 211843, held a unique position in China Airlines' fleet as the sole remaining Boeing 747-200 passenger aircraft. Its inaugural flight took place on July 16, 1979, followed by delivery to the airline on July 31st. Accumulating over 64,800 flight hours prior to the accident, this aircraft was a seasoned veteran of the skies. Powered by 4 Pratt & Whitney JT9D-7AW engines and configured with 355 seats, it was a stalwart of commercial aviation. Notably, before the tragic crash, China Airlines had sold B18255 to Orient Thai Airlines for a sum of $145 million. The flight crew of China Airlines Flight 611 comprised 3 seasoned aviators, each bringing a wealth of experience and expertise to their roles. At the helm was Captain Yi Qingfong, aged 51, accompanied by 52-year-old First Officer Xie Ye Xiong and 54-year-old Flight Engineer Chao Sen Kuo. With a combined tenure in aviation spanning decades, these professionals were no strangers to the skies. Captain Yi and First Officer Xie boasted impressive flying records, each accumulating over 2,100 flight hours, while Flight Engineer Chao surpassed them both with an outstanding tally of more than 19,100 flight hours. Their extensive experience instilled confidence among passengers and crew alike. reassuring all on board of their ability to navigate the skies safely and securely. Among the passengers aboard China Airlines Flight 611 were notable individuals such as Taiwanese politician Yu Ji-cheng and two reporters from the United Daily News, adding a unique dimension to the cross-section of travelers. However, the majority of those on board, totaling 206 passengers, were participants of a Taiwanese group tour bound for the mainland, organized by 4 travel agencies. In total, the flight carried 225 people, including 19 crew members. "15 minutes after takeoff, Flight 611 stabilized at an altitude of 35,000 feet, equivalent to 10,600 meters. The flight proceeded smoothly under clear weather conditions. The 2 pilots steered the aircraft out of the Taipei Flight Information Region, FIR, to head towards Hong Kong, opting to navigate along the Taiwan Strait for their journey. After the flight stabilized, the seatbelt sign was turned off, signaling that passengers were free to move about the cabin. Flight attendants then proceeded to serve light meals to the passengers. The flight took off with a total weight of 230 tons, including 29 tons of fuel and 33 tons of passengers and cargo, en route to Hong Kong without any abnormalities. However, on the outside, the scars of the accident from 22 years ago were beginning to reveal something unsettling. Returning to the tear in the airplane's tail from 22 years ago, the permanent repair of the tail strike deviated from the Boeing Structural Repair Manual, SRM, which outlines replacing the affected skin or using a reinforcing doubler plate. Instead, China Airlines installed a doubler over the damaged skin. Although the doubler was meant to contain scratches within the inner row of fasteners, it was too small, leaving some scratches outside the outermost row of fasteners. At this moment, the pilots, crew, and passengers were entirely unaware of the lurking dangers stemming from the abnormality in the tail's previous injury. As the aircraft endured numerous cycles of pressurization and depressurization throughout its flights, the structural integrity of the tail became compromised. Over time, the continuous stress placed on the fuselage exacerbated the existing damage, causing cracks to gradually develop around the exposed scratches. Each pressurization cycle further weakened the affected area, allowing the cracks to propagate and extend deeper into the structure. At 3:33 p.m., a loud explosion reverberated from the tail of the aircraft. The plane shattered into thousands of pieces in the sky, plummeting into the sea around the Taiwan Strait and the nearby land. Flight 611 disintegrated at an altitude above 10,000 meters, carrying the lives of all 225 people on board, but only 175 bodies were recovered. The crash became the deadliest aviation disaster in Taiwan's history. The governments of Taiwan and the People's Republic of China collaborated in the recovery efforts of the aircraft. China permitted Taiwanese personnel to conduct searches for bodies and aircraft debris in the areas of the Taiwan Strait under its control. China Airlines also urged relatives to provide blood samples for DNA testing, which were processed at the Criminal Investigation Bureau of National Police Administration and 2 other designated locations. Investigators collected maintenance records of China Airlines Boeing 747 CI-611. They discovered that 22 years prior, CI-611 had experienced a tail strike, a result of pilot error, when the aircraft's tail struck the runway due to a premature and steep descent during landing. At this juncture, investigators continued to delve into how China Airlines' personnel repaired the tail strike, uncovering the next key to the puzzle in the aircraft maintenance logbook. It revealed that Boeing 747 CI-611 had been repaired entirely according to the Boeing Structural Repair Manual's instructions. The manual stipulated that some deep cracks on the aircraft's fuselage could not be repaired conventionally, and the tail section containing CI-611's strike-induced crack had to be removed and replaced. However, 22 years later, specifically after CI-611's accident, researchers learned that the tail section of CI-611 had not been replaced. The crack remained, and China Airlines staff merely followed Boeing's instructions without heeding the warning. They only ground down the cracks and applied a piece of aluminum to cover the cracks instead of removing and replacing the entire section. Over 22 years, CI-611 completed numerous flights, and with each takeoff, the cracks on the tail section worsened. While airborne, the air inside the cabin is pressurized to maintain a higher pressure than the outside. The interior air acts on the entire aircraft shell to resist external pressure. With each flight, the rear fuselage of CI-611 is pressurized, causing it to crack gradually. The cracks spread to a range of 2.3 meters because the tail section was not repaired according to Boeing's recommendations. As CI-611 ascended, the increased compressed pressure on the tail section's metal skin could no longer withstand the high pressure and ruptured. This explains why investigators determined that the tail section of CI-611 disintegrated first and fell forward. After the tail section separated, the sudden pressure loss in the aircraft pulled all passengers out, tearing their clothes, and the aircraft broke into many parts, including the head, fuselage, two wings, tail, and fell into the sea. China Airlines disputes much of the content of the report, emphasizing that investigators did not find any aircraft debris to corroborate the investigation report. Evidence of metal fatigue is contained in images taken during routine inspections in the years leading up to the crash. These photos show nicotine staining visible around the doubler plates. China Airlines allowed smoking on flights for 7 years before the accident occurred. The cigarette smoke mixed with the air and escaped through cracks in the tail. Nicotine residue formed a yellow layer at the edge of the aluminum patch covering the crack. China Airlines had scheduled maintenance for its aircraft on November 2nd of the same year, but for CI-611, it could withstand 22 years without undergoing comprehensive inspection. However, it could not withstand an additional 5 months to undergo a thorough check. Had the stains been investigated, the cracks in the fuselage would have been determined, and the plane would have probably avoided the fateful flight. Following the CI-611 accident, to prevent such incidents from recurring, investigators issued warnings to aviation organizations worldwide to collectively inspect hidden damages on aircraft. The mystery behind the China Airlines CI-611 crash has been unraveled, yet the root cause of the accident stems from negligence in aircraft maintenance and repair, leading to the tragic deaths of 225 individuals. While maintenance costs may be high, the price paid for failing to conduct thorough maintenance is far greater.